Welcome to Voice of the Inland Empire, your weekly adventure into the who, what, where, and why of our local communities. And today on the show, we are joined by my personal realtor, Randy Horowitz of Century 21 Prestige. Not only did Randy take me, a guy who thought he may never own a home again, and get him into one, he's also here to talk to us about the state of the real estate market, past, present, and future. So whether you own a home and are thinking about selling or upgrading, or you're renting and are thinking about buying, or you're like me and you lost your home and are wondering what your options are, this is a show you will not want to miss. Be sure to check out our website at voiceoftheinlandempire.com for all the times and places the show can be seen, or to watch current and past shows right online 24/7. Don't go away, we have a great show lined up for you. We will be right back. Is your radio station dull, boring, more of just the same day after day after? Then it's time for radio that will blow your mind and expand and enlighten it too. KCAA Radio 1050 AM is not only the go-to radio station for what's happening in and around the Inland Empire, it's a veritable cornucopia of crazy, an assemblage of awesome, and a total convergence of cool. KCAA is not only the NBC News affiliate for our area, but offers the broadest and craziest range of national and local radio in the Inland Empire, with shows like Imus in the Morning, Dave Ramsey, Joyce Riley's Power Hour, Controlled Chaos, Poor Man, and now Voice of the Inland Empire with yours truly. Check out 1050 AM at home or on the road, or you risk being the only one at work not talking about the fun, crazy, educational, outlandish, awesome things they heard on KCAA 1050 AM. And you wouldn't want that, right? Charlie's Stars and Stripes in Old Town Upland is one of my favorite places to go for food, for drink, and for great entertainment. Located at 296 2nd Street in Old Town Upland, just north of the gazebo and just east of Euclid Avenue. This is a wonderful place with a broad menu, variety, great drinks, great fun, and marvelous people. They have weekly specials. These are my favorites. Check out their Monday night $5.99 steak dinner. How can you go wrong? They have specials virtually every night of the week. And then they have entertainment going on all the time, from trivia contests to karaoke to dancing to some of the best cover bands you'll ever hear on Fridays and Saturday nights. Check them out on Yelp, check them out on Facebook, or come on by and say you heard about them on Voice of the Inland Empire. I love it so much here. This is where we're shooting the show, right here from the bar at Charlie's Stars and Stripes in Old Town Upland. Come on by. Any evening, who knows, you may just see me here having dinner and a drink. It is that time of the show when we say hello to today's guest, and we are joined by a gentleman to whom I owe a great deal of gratitude, my personal realtor, Randy Horowitz from Century 21 Prestige. And before we get into it, I want to brag about you a little bit because I know you don't.
Please do.
40 years as a realtor, 28 years as a broker, all in this market area, the Inland Empire Foothill communities, and of all Century 21 agents nationwide, and I'm guessing there's probably just shy of a cajillion of them.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, really.
Yes.
You were ranked 75th in the country.
That's awesome. No wonder you're my realtor. I only go with the best. Randy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
And you know, not only did you help me, and we'll talk about this later on in the segment, help me purchase a home again, and I never thought I would actually own a home again, but you are such an expert in this field. I wanted to have you on because seriously, the last time we had a realtor on was when the economy tanked. And we were talking about loan mods and options and how to save your home and foreclosures.
Sure.
And we've kind of turned that corner, yes?
Definitely, yes.
So what are you seeing in the market now?
Well, the real estate market is definitely alive and active and doing well. In the last few years, and basically since 2009, which is when our market bottomed. You know, we peaked in about the beginning of 2007.
And I remember that. Prices were stupid. People were having bidding wars at just ridiculous amounts of money.
Exactly, and the bidding wars were a crazy time, absolutely. But when the market peaked, you know, it came down just as fast. And then when we got to the bottom of 2009, and we turned that corner, we've been on a steady up climb ever since. And so we've had 6 years of steady growth, and according to Leslie Appleton Young, who is the chief economist for the California Association of Realtors, and also John Husing, who is a
local favorite economist.
I mean, he is the person of choice for local economics. We are expecting to see growth again, or continuing, for the next 1.5 to 2 years.
But slow, reasonable paced growth, or are we going to create a bubble again?
It is going to be slow paced growth. We're looking at they're expecting 3.2% appreciation over the next year.
But that's good news, because there was a period of time when buying a house was even questionable, because you didn't know if you were going to create equity or lose equity, really, because things were so topsy-turvy.
You're right.
So even if it's slow growth, and I remember when the economy tanked, I had just bought my ex-wife out of our home. And it's when it was just preceding the crazy season.
Yes.
So a home that we had paid, I don't know, a little over $200 for was appraising at over $700, which was just nuts. Bought her out based on that. 6 months later, the economy crashes. When I bought her out, we still had equity.
Sure.
And after it crashed, I, like a lot of Americans, was upside down in my home. And now it's nice to see that things are moving in a positive direction. Right. But before we dive too much more into that, 40 years as a realtor. Now, I don't want to insult you, and I don't want to insult any of your realtor friends out there, but I know people who play at real estate.
Sure.
And I think
so
many...
do I.
Okay, you do too, all right. And I think they do it so they can say they have a job without having to work very hard, but they're always whining how they're starving to death.
Right.
You know, and tell me if I'm wrong. I view real estate, it can be the easiest, lowest paying job you've ever had, or the hardest, highest paying job you've ever had. It's really all about effort.
It is. You know, Ron, I've told young realtors getting into the business for years, if you do everything that you can do for every client you work with, you'll be a success. Stop focusing on commissions, stop focusing on numbers. Can I do 30 transactions this year? Can I do 35 transactions this year? Once you do, your focus is on the wrong thing. If you just concentrate on giving the best service that you can, you will be a success.
But still, especially for someone new into the field, you still got to do some door knocking and pick up some phones, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
And that's where I think a lot of them, you know, the ones that just play at it think, well, I'm going to hang a shingle and people will just come rushing to me, throwing money at me, hand over fist.
You know, I've been very fortunate in that I've been in the business for 40 years. I did a lot of door knocking. I did a lot of phone calling in evenings from 7 till 9 at night, back before the do not call list. I did all those things, did a lot of floor time, did open houses. Fortunately, at this point in my career, probably 75% of my business is by referral. And that's the way you want to build. That's what your eventual goal should be to get to.
But that doesn't happen by accident.
No.
I mean, you had to build that. So you started with the basic blocking and tackling to get where you're at today.
Right.
Because over 40 years, you know, the ones that play at it, The minute, when the economy's good, everyone's making money, whether they should be or not.
Yes.
The minute the economy starts to tank, all the ones that are playing, they disappear. The same thing happened with the mortgage brokers when the economy tanked. Those that played at it all disappeared. Those that it was their career stayed and still survived.
Yeah.
So you've seen some up and downs in 40 years, right?
Yeah, the California Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors have both done studies, and they show that the numbers of realtors in the industry follows the market by about 6 months. And when you think about it, that makes sense. When the sales stop and they don't have a big savings, they're forced to seek other careers. Fortunately for me, I've never really been in that position. I worked very hard at the beginning, and it's been very fruitful. So.
And you work with all types of clients, from the big of the big to the little guys like me. So we've only got a couple minutes left in this segment, but what got you into real estate in the first place?
It's an interesting story. I actually come from a real estate family. Okay. And I started school early, and so when all the other 18-year-olds were out going to, the 18-year-old nightclubs and those kind of things, I couldn't get in. So my mom wanted to keep me busy, I think, in those years before I started college. And she said, well, why don't you go study for your real estate exam? It's a good thing to have. And I never thought at that time it would ever be a career. I did go to college, I did get a degree in marketing, and I did work in the corporate world while selling real estate on the side. It's after a couple years in the corporate world and deciding that environment just wasn't for me, I went back to what I knew well and what my family knew, and it was real estate.
And your marketing experience has to have helped. I loved the last postcard you sent me of your of the houses that you had sold, and there were pictures representing the seller and the buyer, and there was my house twice because you were the listing and
exactly.
That was so cool. But it's about marketing as well.
Right, it is. And it's a fun part. It's a fun part of the business. And especially these days, there's so many creative tools, so many resources available. If you put the effort in, you can set yourself above the bar.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to ask all the questions that I know our viewers and listeners are going, when is Ron going to ask the hard questions? So we're going to ask those questions right after this brief break. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Yulin, and I do the hair and makeup for Ron Stark and his guests. I would like to make you look and feel like a star all of the time. Come meet me at Studio M Salon and Spa in Upland, and if you mention this show, you can receive a free consultation and half off a haircut. I offer the best in makeup and formal styles for weddings, proms, and all of your special occasions, including special effects makeup, hairstyling, cutting, and color, hair and eyelash extensions, facials, and body treatments. So if you want to look and feel like a star, come see me at Studio M Salon and Spa in Upland. Give me a call today for your free consultation and half off a haircut at 626-589-3475 or 909-981-6800.
We are back and coming to you from one of my favorite places in the world, Charlie's Stars and Stripes in Old Town Upland on the southeast corner of 2nd and C Street, right across the street from the famous J.D. Allisons, both owned by the same wonderful people, by the way. And in today's show, we are chatting with Randy Horowitz, a 40-year veteran and number 75 of all C21 agents across the country, about real estate. And in the last segment, you were kind of telling us how you got into it and stayed in it, and something I think everyone knows, the difference between a pretend and a real realtor.
Correct.
But now I want to talk about kind of some of the realities. The bubble burst, the bottom fell out of the housing market, the banks owned a ton of inventory, and in my opinion, to some degree, were controlling interest rates by how they parceled out that inventory.
Right.
What's the status of that now? Is it all kind of evened out, or are the banks still sitting on a bunch and controlling things?
Ron, that's actually an excellent question. Distress sales at one time, as you know, were extremely high. And when the market was crashing, Bank-owned properties and short sales,
They ruled the day.
they were most of the market. Right now, to give you an idea how strong the market is and how correct,
It's corrected itself.
Exactly. Thank you for your help. Anyway, you can see this isn't what I do all day long.
I learned everything I know about real estate from you.
There you go. Thank you. So anyway, about 6.5% of the market now, 6.5% of the sales are distressed properties. So quite a correction. Quite a correction.
But is it 6% because the banks are still holding back, or because that's all the inventory that's out there?
I really don't have a gauge any longer. I was more in touch with that when the market was crashing. I don't know that they're holding a lot of inventory.
I would think after this much time, probably not.
That's my guess.
Yeah. So the market does seem to be correcting then. We've heard from our own local economist and others that we should be seeing equity gains in real estate.
Correct.
Talk to me about the affordability index and what that is and means to us.
The affordability index is probably one of the best gauges of the health of the real estate market. And what it really tells us is the number of families that can afford the median priced home. Right now, that's at about 30%.
What's median in this market?
Median for our areas is about, I think it's about 420,000 or so. Okay.
And just so our listeners and viewers know, median is not average.
No.
It's that one number where an equal amount is above it and below it.
So statistically, when you have a larger sample or bigger sample, that becomes a little bit more accurate. But you can have some very high sales, some very low sales that could sway that a little bit.
It could sway it if it was an average.
Exactly.
Median is a more accurate
But the affordability
reflector.
index, Ron, is a sign of the fact, and by the way, it's a little bit lower than what we would like to see for a strong, healthy market. It should really be somewhere in the 40 to 50% range. But at 30%, it's really driven by the fact that prices have grown and prices have risen. And because of that, income hasn't risen at the same pace as home values, and so therefore the affordability index has dropped. The good thing that's enabling it to not drop more, and the reason why it's still a healthy economy, is because our interest rates are at all-time lows. Right now, interest rates are at about 3 7/8 or so as of yesterday.
And what's keeping them down? Just inventory?
I'm not
Are the feds keeping them down?
I'm not a mortgage expert, but
Right.
what I've heard from the mortgage professionals that I associate with is an uptick in interest rates could really cripple or hurt the marketplace.
Right, and I know the feds are keeping a close eye on that, keeping
Yes.
the interest rates down. We're continuing to see a strengthening of the economy. If suddenly interest rates bolted, it could undo all of the gains that we've seen over the last few years.
Correct.
So there's a lot of people like myself that got displaced, lost their home for one reason or another, maybe not even of their own doing.
Right.
What's this mean for them? Now, for me, 3 years later, I had to go FHA, but I was able to get into, it's not a big place, but I was able to get into a home again. What's the positive news for people, many Americans, who lost everything?
It's a good question. I'm not sure which way to take that. I'm actually kind of at a loss. Maybe we had
Is there hope for them? I mean, I know that the laws are all over the place about how soon you can buy a home again. When I lost my home and I got lucky, it was a short sell. At the time, you only had to wait 2 years to buy again. Then they changed that to 3 years, but then it had to be FHA, and now I think it's 4 or 5 years if you want to go conventional. But there are options out there now, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, for people that did face short sales or foreclosures.
Once the economy, Ron, gained strength, we saw an easing in the lending environment. At one point in time,
they wouldn't lend to anybody.
No, and as a matter of fact, you had to put 20% down, or you don't buy a home, unless of course you went with FHA financing. And part of the problem there was values went up to a point where you couldn't use FHA financing.
You
in our
couldn't
area.
qualify.
Well, not so much qualify, but the maximum loan limit for FHA was much lower than where home values were. So you're really left with 20% down, or you're not able to buy. Now we have a lot more loan options, so people can buy again.
So now people are at a place where that age-old debate, do I rent or do I own?
Right. And people should be owning homes. And I firmly believe that. It's important to the health of the country, and it's important to the stabilization of the family unit.
And not to mention, there's tax benefits.
Exactly.
You know, I know my accountant. I own my own small business, and as a sole proprietor, I get killed on taxes. Although we are in the process of becoming an S corp right now, but it's my realtor who, for the last couple of years, has been saying, "Stark, you got to buy something, dude. You're getting killed."
Exactly. You mean your CPA?
Yeah, my CPA, right?
Yeah.
But he was right.
And absolutely. You know, owning a home gives you the benefit of the tax write-off. All the interest on your loan is tax deductible. That's the same as getting income back every month. Also, when you own a home, rather than throwing away a monthly payment or on rent every month, you're building equity. Again, it's like a forced savings account.
Yeah.
And that's, real estate is one of the ways that people have built wealth in this country. And it's very important, I believe, to own real estate. I'm still passionate about it, and it's what I believe in.
And I agree with you. Now, we're almost out of time, so in 30 seconds, Prop 60, Prop 90, good, bad, indifferent?
It's very, very important, and it's a very little known fact. Propositions, and thank you for bringing it up. Proposition 6090 allows people that have reached the age of 55 or older who are were able to purchase their house at $35,000 and now own a house that's worth $750,000, who want to downsize, but they can't because when they downsize from $750,000 to maybe $450,000, their tax base or their taxes are so high, and when they're on limited income or reduced income and they can't afford to do that,
they kind of get stuck in this house that's too big for them.
Exactly. So Proposition 6090 is very known by few, but it's very important for people to understand that what that does, as long as they buy a house for $1 less or more than what they sell their house for, they can transfer their original $35,000 tax base to the new home.
All right, so any of the elderly, tax 60, tax 90, or Prop 60, Prop 90, really, really good thing. Randy, if anyone wants more information about you, C21 Prestige, or anything we talked about, how do they get a hold of you?
Give me a call at area code 909-920-4690, or send me an email, randyhc21@gmail.com.
All right, and if you didn't get either of those, drop me a line at voiceoftheinlandempire.com. You can connect with us through that, and I'll be happy to connect you with my personal favorite realtor. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Hi, this is Corey Chalmers, host of the TV show Hoarders and president of SteriClean Inc. 5% of the population suffers from hoarding behaviors. Are you or a loved one overwhelmed with clutter? If so, let our caring and compassionate specialists support you every step of the way, drama-free. Give us a call at 1-800-HOARDERS for a free estimate or visit hoarders.com. SteriClean has offices nationwide to assist you. Please call us at 1-800-HOARDERS. That's 1-800-462-7337.
Charlie's Stars and Stripes in Old Town Upland is one of my favorite places to go for food, for drink, and for great entertainment. Located at 296 2nd Street in Old Town Upland, just north of the gazebo and just east of Euclid Avenue. This is a wonderful place with a broad menu, variety, great drinks, great fun, and marvelous people. They have weekly specials. These are my favorites. Check out their Monday night $5.99 steak dinner. How can you go wrong? They have specials virtually every night of the week. And then they have entertainment going on all the time, from trivia contests to karaoke to dancing to some of the best cover bands you'll ever hear on Fridays and Saturday nights. Check them out on Yelp, check them out on Facebook, or come on by and say you heard about them on Voice of the Inland Empire. I love it so much here. This is where we're shooting the show, right here from the bar at Charlie's Stars and Stripes in Old Town Upland. Come on by. Any evening, who knows, you may just see me here having dinner and a drink. The Citizens Business Bank Arena is one of my favorite places to go for virtually any kind of event. It's a beautiful, intimate arena where you can't find a bad seat. Now,
The Ontario rain and Ontario Fury seasons have ended, but now is the time to make that call for next season's season tickets. They're on sale now, great value and great fun. Now let's see what's on the clipboard. May 6th, the Night of Hope with Joel Osteen. In fact, I and a group of friends will be attending that. Joel and Victoria Osteen are coming to the Citizens Business Bank Arena on May 6th at 7:30 with an inspirational night of hope, worship, and encouragement. On June 10th, Spirit West Coast 2016 with acts like Mercy Me, Jeremy Camp, Matthew West, Phil Wickman, NF, Blanca, and more. The Spirit West Coast Festival ranks as one of the premier Christian music festivals in the country, all in a county fair atmosphere. July 15th and 16th, Beth Moore, Living Proof Live. Living Proof will feature this well-known Bible teacher and best-selling author, Beth Moore, in her dynamic storytelling and passionate Bible teaching best. Then on July 30th, the Heritage Singers' 45th anniversary reunion concert. They started in 1971 in Portland, Oregon. The Heritage Singers have been touring for more than 4 decades. A renowned gospel group, they have performed in all 50 states and more than 75 countries. More than 100 former and current singers will be reunited on stage for this inspirational event. To find out more about these and other upcoming events, simply visit cbbankarena.com, and I'll see you at the arena. Looking for a new mattress? Not sure where to go or how to start? Want to make sure you get the best mattress for your money and one that will give you years of sleeping pleasure? There's only one answer, and that is Dreamland Discount Mattress in Covina. At Dreamland, Bruce and his dedicated team will ensure that you find the right mattress at the right price that will give you years of sleeping comfort. Dreamland Discount Mattress offers a wide range of options, styles, and choices, all at up to 80% off. Want to hear what many of their customers are saying about them? Check them out on Yelp to learn why you should become a satisfied customer of Dreamland Discount Mattress too. Go by and visit them at 1007 North Azusa Avenue in Covina, or give them a call at 626-331-8044. And remember, at Dreamland Discount Mattress, prices are always up to 80% off. What a great show. I so enjoyed chatting with all of our guests, and I especially want to thank you for tuning in and joining us. Be sure to set your DVRs so you never miss another episode of Voice of the Inland Empire. Or if you'd like to watch 24/7, check out our website at www.voiceoftheinlandempire.com, where you'll find a complete archive of past and current shows. And while you're there, drop us a line. We love to hear from you. Thoughts, ideas, suggestions. Thinking of someone as a possible show guest? Let us know. Our guests need to have topics of broad general interest and be non-commercial in nature. Or if you'd prefer a more traditional way of contact, you can use our telephone hotline by calling 909-746-8846. So until next time, this is Ron Stark reminding you, be productive, care for your world, give back, work hard, find time for fun, and always remember, give back whatever and whenever you can. Until next time, goodbye for now.